Hello from the Magic Podcast, a weekly podcast from the non-magical land of Texas. I'm your host, Patrick Swinford. If you've never listened to the podcast before, here's what's going on. 35 weeks ago, some random podcast equipment fell through a magic portal. I think it was behind the Whataburger. So we've used it every week since to record a podcast in various rooms and houses in the town of Plano in the land of Texas. And I'm joined here, as always, by my co-host.
I am Kevin, wizard of the 12th level of pyromancy, master of Dungeons and Dragons, manipulator of musical mysteries, devourer of potions, champion of the great halls of PSN. In Lothric, they know me as Nymeria the Black. In Boletaria as Nymeria the Red, and I'm known in North as Sabal the Amiable Skull, and there may be other characters I inhabit whose names you do not yet know.
Other characters?
Yeah, I have other characters. You don't know about all my characters.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I think they're all in Nymeria.
Lately.
I think that's the secret.
I
think that's the secret to your power.
I can neither confirm nor deny. Some of them are Lady Nymeria.
Some of them are. Welcome to Triage. I'm Patrick.
I'm Kevin.
And we just thought we'd have a little fun. If you haven't listened to Welcome to the Magic Tavern, link in the description.
Yeah, do that.
You've got to. It's fantastic. Anyone who's geeky, or even if you're not geeky, you'll appreciate it.
Real quick, though. The first time I listened to it, I did not realize that it was improv. I thought it was scripted. That makes it way more impressive and a lot of fun to listen to. So it's just a couple of guys sitting around doing improv-y and creating a world as they go, which is awesome.
It really
is.
is.
And two of the people there are also members of Jackbox Games, and so they make video games. So there's the video game tie-in, bringing it back to this week in our collective head standard fare.
It all works. So we've had not only the Games with Gold, but also the PlayStation Plus release dates, or not release dates, the actual games that they're going to give you.
You can get free stuff.
You can get free stuff. They announced the games, which if you're watching this or listening to this, you already know what those are, because we do it on Tuesdays, and Tuesdays is the PlayStation one. So anyway, so if you didn't already look, here's what you're getting. For the PlayStation side of the house, we got Bionic Commando Rearmed 2. Which I have not played. I played Bionic Commando, but I've not played.
Have you played the Rearmed?
Is that that's the remastery thing, isn't it?
It's still the 2D, like they kind of did it again. It's not the one where his wife is his arm. Spoilers.
Okay.
Because that was a thing that happened.
Well, at least we didn't spoil Dead Space. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's important. On PS4, we've got Tabletop Racing, World Tour, and Tropico 5, and those. The two PS Vita ones, actually, one of the Vita ones is the one that I'm the most excited about, is God of War Ghosts of Sparta.
Yes.
And then Switch Galaxy Ultra, which is also available on PS4 if you don't have a Vita. And then the other PS3 title, go ahead.
The other PS3 title is Loco Roco Cocoricho. I don't know.
That's the one.
Something like that.
Yep.
I don't know Spanish. So I would like to point out in these, I don't think this may not be like the strongest release that they've done. It's God of War is probably the best one on there.
Yeah, and that's a PSP game.
But I did notice that they brought back a little bit of crossplay here.
A little bit,
because when we started this podcast way back in the day, everything was like you could play it on everything, or almost everything.
There was 1 month when 5 out of the 6 games were available on Vita.
Yes,
and that was a great month.
Yeah, and I hope that they go back. They don't have to go completely to that, but I would like to say almost every one of them is crossplay.
Yeah.
I would like that because, like you said, if you don't have a Vita, it's on PS4.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice because it might be a cool game that someone doesn't get a chance to play. And if the game is already on PS4, already on PS3, give it to us. Come on.
It is kind of surprising to me that they're not kind of upping their game with the PS3 titles.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like those would be fairly easy to get a hold of. Because like they've done like Tomb Raider and Ground Zeroes, and like there's some games that can at least make people go ooh.
Well, they did Tomb Raider and Ground Zeroes because they wanted to get people to buy the other games.
Right.
They wanted people to buy the new Tomb Raider, Rise of Tomb Raider. And they wanted people to buy
But this is May, and we never got an Uncharted one.
I know, it's odd.
Like that's just kind of weird.
We should have gotten Uncharted 2 at least. One's good, but 2, come on, 2's really good.
Okay.
Over on the Xbox side of the house, the Microsoft, the dark side, if you will, we've got Defense Grid for Xbox One, Grid 2 for Xbox 360.
Available right now.
And then later on, we'll have Costume Quest 2 for Xbox One.
Which I've heard I've heard a lot of people say that that's really good, a lot of fun RPG.
Yeah, a couple people have, including Jeremy. So shout out to Jeremy. So yeah, I'll try it out. And Peggle.
Peggle, I have Peggle too, and Peggle's pretty fun.
Peggle was a mobile game, wasn't it?
No, Peggle is the one where you were a unicorn who farts rainbows, tells you to bounce a ball around. It's like Bust-A-Move mixed with
Pachinko.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
It's
for some reason I thought it was a mobile game. Like every time that I've looked at like screenshots or not screenshots. Yeah. Every time I've looked at like let's plays of it, it's in standard 4:3 format. It's not in our 16:9 standard.
That's pretty funny though.
Yeah. So I was like, either this came out in '97 or it's a mobile game or something. But maybe it's purposely the retro.
I can see it as a mobile game.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So we'll be reviewing all those and letting you know if they're worth playing.
That's what we do.
Yes. On the backwards compatible list, Major Nelson, they're still just sending these out as tweets. So here's what we've got this week.
If you're not on the twatter.
Yes. Altered Beast, Comic Zone, The Cave, Double Dragon Neon, Ghostbusters : something or something.
Sanctum of Slime.
Yeah, that one. Frogger and Galaga Legions DX.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't buy Galaga Legions DX. Just go get the arcade one that they released a little while ago that's just Galaga. Because Galaga Legions DX is awful.
That's the let's reboot Galaga with a quasi 3D shmup. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's
not as good as Resogun.
No. Very few things are.
Yeah.
But it is kind of weird because this is the same team that took Pac-Man and the Pac-Man Championship Edition DX. That's fun.
Yeah.
And it is a very different twist. Like you can't play regular Pac-Man, but like it takes the title and adds something to it where this just does weird things for no reason that I can tell.
Yeah.
So
I think that
Frogger.
Frogger. I think it's a good example of a company saying, well, we need to make a modern version of this. We need to reboot it, and they alienate all of the original fans, and they can't hook the new fans.
Yeah,
is how I feel about it. Which is why most people haven't heard of it until listening to this podcast.
Yep. Supergiant Games announced, and this actually kind of came out toward the end of last week. So if you've already heard about this, get excited again because it's Supergiant Games and it's a new game. They're the ones who did Bastion and Transistor, and I prefer Bastion to Transistor. A lot of people feel the other way, but whatever else you think about them, they have incredible artistic vision and they present something new.
They do,
and I really enjoy that. And Pyre is going to be kind of an RPG thing where you're like going up against like you take your team of champions and you go up against other champions, and like if you talk to people and like drill down in their dialogue, then you get it can actually affect gameplay. And what I'm telling you,
depending on your choices, or just if you keep talking to them.
If you keep talking to characters and you're willing to like pursue these storylines, then you can find
that's cool
and unlock new things.
So by habit, what we do when we play the Souls games,
what we do anyway. and so
we're always doing that chat talk.
I've already read that.
Okay, she's repeated. Okay,
and I'm out.
I'm out.
So get excited about this, and don't expect me to give you any news on it until we get a release date, which will probably be soon.
Probably pretty soon.
Because it's been a while since Transistor came out, and this is another company, another indie that has actually made it far enough and has the trust of gamers well enough that they don't have to rely on Microsoft or Sony to push their product.
Yeah.
They can sit back, go into hiding, make their game, and come out and say, hey, we're almost ready.
Yeah.
Be excited.
I think companies.
And I am.
Yeah, I am. I think companies are realizing that they can they can do this. They can pull this off if they have enough people watching them. And it's a good example of that. Fallout obviously did that. Bethesda, anyone's going to do that. Same thing, which I've talked about before, and I'm solidifying my prediction that later this year we'll hear about World of Warcraft 2, whatever they call it, which I really hope they don't do this, but I have a feeling that they're going to call it Warcraft.
Yeah.
And I don't like that, but I have this feeling because
they did
people don't know how to
Universe
name
of Warcraft?
movies. That could be interesting, but people don't know how to name movies anymore, right? So you had
so you've got the
Rambo.
minimalistic,
John Rambo, and then you've got Rocky Balboa, and it's just confusing. It's really confusing. I think that's what's going to happen. And of course, Xbox 360, Xbox 360, Xbox One, which is the third.
And I
still
just can't
stand
wait. I can't wait to see what they do with that because
box.
The X.
If it was the 90s, that would work.
Yeah.
I did find it. I don't know if you know the story about when they were trying to name it because it's reference to DirectX is the reference for Xbox.
That's dumb.
This is Microsoft in the late 90s, early 2000s going, we have this great thing, it's DirectX, we're going to have a Direct Xbox is what originally was going to be called, which obviously...
Okay. Direct Xbox is even worse, so...
And then... and they weren't going to call it Xbox for a while because in the Eastern countries, X is cancel or no, or so they're Xbox is basically saying no box.
It's the no box.
Don't do this box. Go away box. So, however the context would be, and they're like that. I don't think that'll fly, and they did it anyways, and it worked. So yeah. Little story for you.
Except in Japan.
No, see, it just still didn't work in Japan, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's why.
And you know about
maybe if they called it the box, it would sell.
It's still better than brown box.
Game box.
You know about the X and circle and the configuration in Japan?
What? Oh, because
X is cancel.
X is cancel
because X should be canceled.
Yes.
And so in
and X is
Souls
select
games
here.
and RPGs and everything, it's no. Why would you click X to select things?
Yeah.
Because it's.
Yeah. Now I learned that when I got my first PlayStation, and you'd have these American games, and X was select, and then I was playing Final Fantasy, and X is cancel, and I'm like, this doesn't everything needs to be it needs to all be that or nothing, because that way you're not having to rethink how to play a game. You're supposed to be interacting with the game. The controller is just an extension of you.
Well, and for a very brief time up to Final Fantasy VIII, they would let you switch them, which I did because on the Super Nintendo version of Final Fantasy VI, A is your do things button, and B, which is at the bottom in the position of X, was cancel. And so that was what I was used to, and so I'm inputting a blitz and canceling, and I'm like, no, not like that. Try again.
No.
And so I fixed it.
Yeah.
Patrick.
Yeah.
Have you ever been playing a game and thought, you know what? I'm feeling limited. I feel like I'm playing a finite war.
Yeah, I have felt that way.
Then I have good news for you.
You do?
The next Call of Duty is Infinite Warfare.
Yes!
And it's in space.
What? This is where movie franchises go to die. And if you don't believe me, Leprechaun did it. Friday the 13th did it.
It's when you run out of ideas, you just go,
I guess we'll do it in space? Why not?
Yeah. Isn't the third or fourth Sharknado supposed to be in space or something?
Yeah, and so is Machete. But but that's the point. They're specifically being, irreverent to be irreverent. So
so Infinite Warfare is a thing. It was briefly up on the PlayStation Store as like a placeholder or something, and then it vanished.
Yeah.
The cool thing about this is that this is speculation based on a thing that happened.
Yeah.
So I feel it's pretty confident. They had it tied in with a remaster of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Okay.
And it would have like the campaign and 10 multiplayer maps that comes with this.
So the campaign and 10 multiplayer maps of Call of Duty 4 that comes with this?
Yeah.
Okay, so that'd be cool.
Yeah, and I like that idea. Like, okay, if they would let me buy the campaigns of Black Ops 1, 2, 3, I might pay $60 for that trilogy.
Yeah.
Just the campaigns. I don't want to be shot at by other people, but I want to go through the story and learn about the I can spoil Black Ops, right?
The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I want to go.
So
I want to go have my adventure with my imaginary Russian friend.
Yes.
That sounds awesome.
To have a cool... there's really good storytelling in there. There's not a ton of it as it goes along, but at the same time, there's some cool stories there, and I want to enjoy those.
And it's good shooting mechanics, and it's a solid game. So
you can play Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not the same thing.
For like $9, it was on sale, and I was like, I'm not gonna slog through the first 2 hours that everybody says is awful to get to the game that everybody says is great.
Good.
I believe that. I have Dark Souls.
That's true. You're slogging through that instead.
I'm slogging through that and smiling all the way.
Now the Infinite War like leak, if you will. Now we're finding out it's going to be in space and all that, but previously there was a rumor that this was going to be in World War I, right? Or is it Battlefield?
Battlefield is going to World War I.
Sorry, war game thing.
War game, yes. The war shootery game.
The war shootery game. Okay, so Battlefield's going to go. They're going to go in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. We'll see what happens. World War I is really interesting to me, though.
World War I is also it's virtually untapped, and there's some really cool things that happened during that time. I think I told you about this. I was watching a documentary. I watch a lot of documentaries. There's one, I think it's called The First Air War on it's available on Netflix. Is wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's talking about how because the Wright brothers only like a decade ago had figured out how to make a plane fly. 10 years later, we're using those in combat.
Yeah.
And it's just mind-blowing. And it's really, really fascinating. And there's apparently a team in New Zealand. I might have already mentioned this on the show, so I'll briefly. There's a team in New Zealand who's recreating those planes with original materials, original documents, and everything. And those people were crazy.
Yes.
These were barely able to fly, and they were like, "Yeah, I'll go in that and shoot at people."
That sounds good.
I'll be fine.
Well, I think that, like you said, it was 10 years after the invention, and what happened was each side was trying to be the one who had a better plane.
Yeah, because
and we're flying them first.
Yeah.
Because if you're flying them first, you have another 6 months on the competition of training and strategy.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
And it was a tremendous advantage. And if you could just look, if you could get your isometric game and play that way, yeah. So, yeah, that's infinite. That was not Infinite Warfare.
That wasn't, but it is fine.
We're still talking about shooting.
Yeah, the shoots. You shoot things.
The shoots.
Yeah, I just think we're in Infinite War. We're going to go into space. Well, you got Halo. Like, so are you gonna? And you know what? If you want more realistic, if you will, like you have like Gears, when it comes to more realism sci-fi, because this is sci-fi. We're talking about bringing wars into space. That's science fiction.
Yeah.
It may be hard sci-fi versus soft sci-fi, but it's still sci-fi. So.
Yeah.
We'll see how they do this.
And cover shooting.
If there are aliens, then it's gonna be hilarious.
Can you be aliens? I mean, if it is truly infinite, what if they go into the multiverse?
There's no way. There's no way they would do it.
Infinite?
There's no way. I think that they're referring to multiple planets, and the fact that war will just continue even if you're not on this rock. You're on another rock, it's still gonna fight. You're still gonna fight stuff.
Humans.
So Atlas, And NIS, NIS, I would never, I don't know.
It's an acronym for a Japanese thing.
I always say NIS.
Yeah.
So they're going to be severing ties. I didn't see a lot of the drama involved on this.
I don't think it's actually drama because so
maybe
Atlas,
actual business news on this. What the heck is this all about?
Well, no. Okay, it's okay. Basically, I don't want people to freak out about the headline.
Yeah.
Because Atlas Games coming to the West is awesome. They bring some of the craziest, weirdest stuff, and NIS is bringing us stuff like Psychopaths, Mandatory Happiness, and things like that. And so those are the ones that bring us the weird. But since Atlas is now owned by Sega, who's owned by Inside or somebody, Sega is going to be taking over those duties.
Gotcha.
And they have been pretty good about bringing stuff. I mean, Square's not.
Nope.
But Sega has when they took over Atlas, they said, "Hey, everybody, calm down.
Yeah.
They're going to keep doing the thing that you love. We'll keep going with that. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
And they have, because that was almost a year ago. And they've continued to do what they said they were going to do. And I appreciate that, and I will continue to give them money.
I do find it funny that here we are 20 years after the Sega Genesis 3D or 32X debacle. And now we're in a position where we're like, yeah, Sega, I trust them.
Right?
20 years ago, it's like, no.
Well, it's also funny because, like...
Well, I'll say 18 years ago. 20 years ago, people were still hoping.
Well, the other thing is that Sega's hardware was decent. It was the software where they failed, and now that's all they do, and we kind of like it.
I would say it's the hardware that was the problem. I mean, you had the Genesis was good, but it came out too late.
But it had burst processing.
It had blast processing.
Whatever.
And it technically was faster, but it wasn't better than the SNES.
Yeah.
Because they put the Genesis out to compete with the NES. And then they went, okay, we're not ready to come out with our next console. What do? Let's put a thing on it. Now and then they came out with the Sega CD, and then you have the Dreamcast.
Have you been to the National Video Game Museum?
I haven't gotten a chance to
yet? They have a fully formed amalgamation Sega machine.
Yes.
And it is glorious.
I've seen one. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane. So, and shout out to those guys, because that museum is cool.
It's really great.
I'm probably going to go ahead and get the year subscription. I can walk in anytime I want and hang out.
How long are they there? Like, is it permanent?
This is the museum.
Okay.
And
I didn't know if they were going to move it somewhere. Okay, cool.
No, this is it's local guys, and they've collected the things, and they're gonna change up some of the displays and stuff. But
yeah,
this is where it is.
That's awesome.
And so if you want to check that out, then you got to come visit Dallas. Do it.
Yeah. Clementine is going to be the protagonist in Walking Dead Season 3.
Right. So spoilers for Season 2, she doesn't die?
Kind of. So...
Unless we're a zombie protagonist. Because I don't know. I didn't play it.
So...
I played some of it.
I got a little confused on this because I haven't played the Season 2 yet. I played Season 1. I haven't played Season 2 or I played a little bit of Season 2. But... I kept seeing videos, and they were referring to Clementine deaths. So I didn't watch them because I didn't want to be spoiled. But in looking for Clementine footage for the show, I was trying to find Clementine footage and trailers and stuff, and I didn't click on these because I wasn't sure does that mean she dies in multiple ways? Does that mean that she kills multiple people? I don't know. Does that mean there are deaths that she watches and freaks out? I don't know. So spoilers: death happens in Walking Dead
all day, every day.
Yeah. So she's going to be the protagonist for Season 3. And I heard, I don't know if this is accurate, I heard someone, there was a rumor this is going to be the end of Walking Dead for Telltale.
I can see that.
Kind of wrap it up, which I think would be great. I know that they've got a lot more material to go through in the show, but I wish that they would they would wrap it up in 2 seasons or so. But that's just me.
I'm indifferent to what they do. Okay.
It's just got this ebb and flow of like good and just boring, and then good, and then boring, and then and then everyone's like, oh, you have to watch it, and I'm like, I got burned out.
Yeah.
Like from this roller coaster, I want good things to watch.
Yeah.
If I've got Daredevil and things like that to watch, and I've got Kimmy Schmidt, I'm sorry,
I can't get into season 2. I don't know
Really?
why. Yeah.
Oh man, season 2 is really
And
good.
I'm curious if...
Did you see Tina Fey yet?
No.
So you need to see Tina Fey.
I do.
Yeah.
Like every chance I get.
Yes.
But yeah, it's...
Did you see Titus take off his earrings?
No. Spoilers.
He doesn't have earrings, but they get in an argument, and he goes, So he takes off his imaginary earrings and puts up his hair to finish the fight.
I have seen him like dig into his arsenal of characters, and that was actually kind of impressive. Like, because he switches, and it's good.
He's phenomenal. He's a really good Broadway actor.
Yeah,
and so watch that for that. Watch Kimmy Schmidt. It's good stuff, and Tina Fey's in a good amount of it. So
yeah, Tina Fey is awesome.
Yeah, she is.
John Romero and Adrian Carmack did a Kickstarter, let it go for 3 days. It's for a game they're making called Black Room, and they did it for a couple of days, and then I guess not enough excitement around it, and so 3 days into the Kickstarter they canceled it, and they said, we'll be back with a demo. We're going to go make a demo so that you can get excited about this, which... For first-person shooter, like, I don't know how John Romero and Adrian Carmack working together doesn't blow up like...
Well, if they weren't happy with how much activity and how much excitement there was, they got $130,000 in 3 days. They wanted $700,000
for the total.
So
which is...
you hit a quarter of what? Okay, so a fifth of what you wanted in 3 days.
Yeah.
I mean, that's decent excitement. I guess they were wanting it to just completely stretch out and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But there are successful Kickstarters that get funded like in the last day. There's like the graph just kind of goes like bam, and then right at the end it spikes.
Yeah.
And then that's if you succeed or fail.
Yeah.
But
what sucks about Kickstarter though is you have to market it, or someone else has to market it, and get people
people have to be excited about it.
Yeah.
And then they tell people, and word of mouth has to spread. And if it's a concept that people are like, that is what I want, I will back it. I will tell people about it and stuff. And speaking of Kickstarter, Shu backed Chernobyl 360.
Okay.
Which is you get to tour Chernobyl.
That's
like the real Chernobyl.
Yeah.
And I would absolutely pay to do that.
That would be really cool.
Because it's this moment frozen in time. It's like a Pompeii moment.
It is.
Because there's no warning, and it's just get out if you want to survive.
Everything is just left the way it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
and
eerie and beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is really, really interesting to me. And so also Chernobyl 360 is a thing.
Side note. A little bit more about the game though. So they described Romero and Carmack described the game as a visceral, action-packed FPS set in a holographic simulation gone rogue.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
I'm like, I'm sold. I will play this.
That sounds good.
I will play this. But
what do you do on Kickstarter? Like what do you back or not back, or do you just wait for games to buy?
I will back something if I feel that I hate saying this, but like I'm hesitant to back games if I don't really feel like they have a lot to show me to say this is really actually going to happen.
Yeah.
Not that I think everyone's going to scam me or anything, but like if I see enough footage or the concept is interesting enough, I'll throw in $10 to $20 or whatever. Especially if the game says if the Kickstarter is for $20 you'll get a digital download of the game. Where I'm like,
I'm all about that. That's the one I want,
because that says okay, I will help you. You can give me a digital copy, which doesn't cost you anything.
When the game is done,
I get a digital copy.
one.
I get one, which didn't cost you anything because you didn't have to manufacture it.
Yeah.
You didn't have to package it. You didn't have to ship it.
So it's just a really, really, really early pre-order.
It's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
When you have something like that, so that's kind of my answer. When they have a decent priced, you can get the digital version or even a physical. I mean, I'm fine with physical. Don't get me wrong. I love physical media. I just mean, I see digital media as a way that they can do something like, or they can throw in digital copies of other games. Like so let's say this isn't going to happen. I know this isn't going to happen, but I'm just going to say hypothetically, if someone said, okay, we're making a new MDK game. Mm-hmm. And they said, brand new MDK game. If you haven't played MDK, I'm going to play a bunch of footage right here. And they say, okay, new MDK, and if you kickstart it for $50, we're going to give you the game, but we're also going to give you digital copies of the previous two games. I go, yes, okay. I will do that because I get 3 games for $50, and it didn't cost you anything because it's digital. So it's the beauty of digital. And go play MDK.
I backed Mighty Number 9, and then I backed the blood-starved beast thing, the Castlevania one, and then the Cyanide and Happiness thing that I hope will replace Cards Against Humanity. I'm tired of playing Cards Against Humanity. I'm done.
I like Cards Against Humanity, but I agree. I'm curious. I want to play that, and I also want to play the.
I can keep talking. There's another Kickstarter. The Dark Souls board game is another one that interested me. Out of my price range at this point, but I kind of want to buy that when it comes out.
I'm going to buy it when it comes out.
That looks okay. Then I'll play
I will buy it, and we will all get together and play it. Exploding Kittens was the game I was thinking of.
Oh yeah,
Exploding Kittens. Like I'll play that. That sounds fun. It's not where Dark Souls or Betrayal of the House on Haunted Hill or which are great games, or like the Cthulhu games. They're great, but it's like, okay, you have to get people who already are into it and already want to play it, because it's really hard to convince someone. It's like getting my wife to play Risk. Like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, same here.
It's not going to happen. But like, if they already understand the concept, then they go in. But like Exploding Kittens, just go have fun.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. It's Exploding Kittens. Who doesn't love Exploding Kittens?
Ubisoft has been punishing players for The Division,
right?
And this has been going on for a little while.
It needed to happen, and
with all the exploits that were going on and everything, they are punishing. From what I saw, it's temporary banning and nerfing stuff that you screwed.
The first strike is 2 weeks though.
Yeah,
which is substantial because it's an online only thing.
You kick me off of an online only game for 2 weeks, I'm not going back to the game. Probably.
Yeah,
I mean, I've lost momentum at that point, unless it's like World of Warcraft or something like that.
And I understand they have to fix the game.
They do.
I'm curious. Honestly, if they manage to salvage this, I will be so impressed, because this game, it's been a train wreck.
I don't know if it's going to happen, but it'd be interesting if it happens. We'll see. It may be great in like a year. I mean, it may be like Destiny, where it took that long for them to get the actual full product out. So, no, we'll see. Speaking of taking a year to get the full product out,
right?
Rock Band is going to have multiplayer. Mm-hmm. So the new Rock Band that released last year, they're going to have multiplayer coming out. What is it, November?
Online, yeah. Online in November.
Yeah. So it took them a year to put something that should be in the game from the get-go. I mean, really?
Well, I don't know. Like for me, it's all about the party experience. It would be like the Jackbox games having an online component. I don't care.
A random person that
I'm not. I don't want to play strangers. I want to laugh at people in their face.
Yeah, but if you are at home and you have Rock Band, I'm at home and I have Rock Band, and we wanted to do some challenge, or if we wanted to play a specific song, like, you have the option to do that. You had the option to do that with some of the Guitar Hero games, and I think that the game is more of a party game. It's more of a actual couch co-op, as much as standing up can be a couch game. It's more of that local co-op game, but I like the multiplayer option. I think should be there.
Okay.
I mean, whether it's random battles, I don't really care about that, but pairing up with a friend, yeah.
And at least they're not talking about PC anymore. That's also progress.
Yeah.
No one wants that.
So Blizzard has said that they're basically open to exploring or going to explore the idea of pristine servers.
Yes.
We're talking vanilla WoW. This is right after they shut down the vanilla WoW third-party, I guess, server, privately owned server that was not pirates. Which I think they realized, okay, we did have a really cool thing.
And there is an audience here, and this is a demographic we can serve. If this is something they're exploring now, it's going to be a little while before this comes out. If this was their plan, they should have done this and been able to say, look, we need to shut this down, but here's a legit way to do this. And Blizzard is big enough, they have the resources. It's not like they're cash strapped. They could have had this project and had this ready for release. The timing is not great.
Yeah, and we'll see how quickly they can get this going. I don't think it should take them that long if they put the resources towards it.
Yeah.
I mean,
if they're really committed, I can see that.
Then they can do it. But again, with the Warcraft movie coming out, and my prediction still is that they're going to have a new game coming out. World of Warcraft is ancient at this point.
Yeah.
It's good. It's still good, but it is ancient, and we're piling on code and piling on, trying to make the graphics look better, but you're still running on old stuff. So
yeah.
New game's probably going to come out anyways, but I don't know, maybe you'll have the, vanilla WoW, non-vanilla WoW, and then new vanilla WoW. Neapolitan, if you will.
Alright, so the second one is a swirl?
Yeah.
World of Warcraft swirl. Alright, you heard it here. Miyazaki was interviewed a little while ago, and they were talking about kind of the overarching thing. That dude's elusive as hell.
Yes.
Like he doesn't want to talk to people. He just wants to go and make the games, and I appreciate that. So whenever he does an interview, I will probably tell you about it because I'm gonna pour over it and see what I can find.
I believe there's been one interview. I think we were talking about this before. I think there's been one interview that I could find with him that was filmed.
Yeah.
And everything else is there's a picture of him.
Yeah.
And then some interview, but I don't know. He just doesn't. I don't know if he doesn't want to be filmed or what it is. It's his thing.
Yeah.
He's welcome to it, but it is interesting when you see a little glimpse of him in the Bloodborne presentation. Is the only thing that I could find. But good for him for he basically said that Demon Souls, the remastered Demon Souls, is probably not likely. He wants to go do his own thing.
Okay, so his response was he was asked the Demon Souls remaster.
Yeah.
What do you think about the possibility of that coming out? And his response was, and I quote verbatim without having to read it, is, "We want to continue working on new projects." Cool. Keep working on new projects. But that doesn't mean they can't hand it off to Bluepoint or somebody.
Agreed.
And let them do it, because
Agreed.
I would Bluepoint's the people that did the Shadow of the Colossus, the Eco remasters from PS2 to 3. They helped that game company with Flower and Journey and that process.
Yeah.
And so I would love for them to grab Demon Souls and bring it up, or I don't care if it's just backwards compatible. I want to play Demon Souls again.
I want to play Demon Souls on my PS4.
So yeah. The other piece in this is that he said that Dark Souls 3 is the end, which is making me question some of my own decisions, because in my opinion, this is just how I'm playing my character, it is time for the Age of Darkness.
Yeah.
The Age of Fire has been artificially carried on too long. It's time.
Which is why we're killing the Lords of Ember.
Yep. And hopefully they won't come back, because they do that a lot.
It's all cyclical. They're going to come back. I mean, that's whether or not we get a game. That's what's the whole. I mean,
well, the game's canon continues, because you can choose at the end of all the way back to Dark Souls 1. You can choose to refuse to be the next Lord of Cinder and not like the fire.
Yeah.
And pick me. I'm not going to go too deep into the lore because we have separate videos for that stuff where I go through all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dark Souls 3 is going to be the end of that, and massive amounts of respect.
Yeah.
Because From Software could absolutely drive the Souls series into the ground, release one every year or two, and just hand it off to another team and just keep on putting these out.
Yeah.
But Miyazaki-san has said, I've done my thing. Mm-hmm. I want to look at something else, and I'm excited about what else has been in his head that didn't work in Souls.
Yeah.
Where does he go from here? And I know that with the success of particularly Dark Souls 3, I know that they have the ability. They now have a place from which to launch something else. So I'm looking forward to see what they do, and I will buy it. Like, even if it's something that I don't think that I'm interested in,
I'll still support it.
I trust From
to
give me something that I have not seen before.
Yeah.
Because Souls games were not anything we had seen before, and now there's...
And they're great.
Yeah, and now there's like Neo and a couple of other like copycats, and they have created a genre, and hopefully somebody else will carry on this specific... Because Neo is Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Unquestionably.
Oh, it is.
And Salt and Sanctuary is 2D Dark Souls.
Yes.
And there are other games that...
it's like when Grand Theft Auto 3 came out.
Yeah.
They have all these open world...
They created the sandbox.
Created the sandbox, yeah. Speaking of Neo, so it looks like there are going to be options in Neo to either increase the keep the frame rate stable at 30, I think. Yeah. Is what it was. I didn't see. They refer to it as movie mode.
Right.
So you either do that, or you can have really nice graphics, and your frame rate's going to drop.
Yeah.
Frame rate needs to be consistent. And whether that's a 30 or 60 or 120 or whatever the kids do these days on PC, it needs to be consistent. 30 for a game like Dark Souls,
where you need to be able to react immediately.
I'd say 60 is even better, but 30 is still not that bad. People could argue that, but you don't need 60 to 120 to 200, whatever. It's not really needed, and the problem is that if it's running at 120 and the frame rate all of a sudden drops to 20 or 30, that's a problem. It's a big problem. So I don't like... I think I understand what they were trying to do with it, to say, here's some options, but I don't like it. I don't like that they're saying, here's options, choose how you want to be fucked.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what they're saying. It's like, do you want your frame rate to drop? Okay, then get your graphics. Do you want your frame rate really consistent? Well, your graphics are going to suck. Give me the best of both worlds. Is what you need to do.
Do the best you can
of both. Give me a consistent frame rate and good graphics.
But if you do the high end one on the PlayStation 4.5, your frame rate's not going to drop.
And that is true.
And that's what this is preparing for. And this also allows them to kind of get it out.
It won't drop on the PlayStation. I knew that they were talking about the VR having to have a specific consistent frame rate. So the PlayStation 4.5 will have that as well.
No, that's not a thing. They still haven't announced it, so they can't make statements about it.
Yeah, but specifically this, it should be able to hold better.
Yeah, and I feel like this is going to be a thing that's going to. It's just another step in the preparation to get us to the 4.5.
So Uncharted will be launching on the 10th.
Yes,
and
it got partially launched from the delayed from date, and then a truckload of physical copies got stolen, and online stores were like, we launched it on the date that you said a while ago, and like there's been all kinds of weird stuff. So mostly this is to tell you that Uncharted spoilers are out there.
Yeah.
And because Uncharted is the story-driven thing that it is, that's important.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
It is. I forgot that it was launching on the 10th because I've already seen people spoiling and putting footage.
Just like the developers.
Yeah. I've already seen people online. I didn't click on them, but like I already saw people online posting video of them playing it or ending stuff, and I'm like,
and Sony's trying to shut it down, but just be aware that that's out there, and don't click on those things because they're probably real.
Yeah. Probably. So YouTube has talked about fixing their content ID system.
Yes.
This is something we run into weekly, sometimes multiple times a week.
And in the past couple of weeks, we've had hits on episode 22 and 14.
Yep.
It's a weird, janky, messed up system.
We're on 34 right now.
Yeah.
And they're still, they're basically, my grief with this still lies in what they've done to fix it is that if someone files a claim against your video, there's two different types of claims. There's a takedown notice, which says you're taking it down.
Just cease and desist type of thing. Cease
and desist, and your video is no longer available.
Yeah.
Even with no proof. There is no. This is getting arrested and being put in jail.
Because
in
somebody
prison,
said.
Because someone said you did something, and then you go through a prison system, and there's no evidence, there's no investigation.
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen in the real world. If they go, pretty sure you did it, then that happens. But this is just, it's ridiculous. So you have either takedown notices or you have a content ID. Which basically says...
Copyright claim.
That's a copyright claim. That's mine. I take the money for that now. So YouTube is saying, okay, if you're disputing it, you're going to get money as well. You're going to get a portion of money while it's being disputed. But you can still only dispute 3 videos at a time.
Yeah.
You can dispute 3 videos at a time, and they have 30 days to respond. So they could just not respond.
Yeah.
And then... once they've not responded, that doesn't clear it up.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I thought it would work like if the cop doesn't show up to your ticket thing.
No, sorry. Hold on. No, if they had 30 days, if they don't respond, then it does clear it, but they can come back and do it again.
Ew.
Infinite times.
Ew.
There is no double jeopardy here. They can come back and hit you again. Because we've been hit multiple times on ones that I said, disputing that.
Yeah.
And then 30 days happens, and I go, okay, cool, that's fine. And then I get hit again with the same one. So the problem is you can't keep disputing them, especially if you do multiple videos a week. We do one main video, and we do extra videos and everything. But
when we talk about something for way too long.
Or if we have an actual planned extra video. But what my biggest problem with it is that they're saying, okay, well, you can do this, you can still dispute it, but we're not going to let you dispute more.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know, the way that this works is if you do dispute, they have 30 days. And if they say, no, that is my content, you can't use it, even though we're using it as fair use. We're using material that they gave for promotion to promote their material and review the material. And it's completely fair use. It's like reviewing a movie, and you'll see a movie reviewer, and they'll show clips of the trailer.
Right.
It's not anything leaked. It's just, this is the trailer that you already approved.
This is the thing you wanted people to watch.
So I'm going to talk about it to get people to watch it for you. So if they come back and say, no, that is mine, which we just had one, we've had it happen a few times, the next step is you can say, you're wrong. I promise you that it is fair use, and their next step is we take you to court.
Yeah.
So the threat, or they take you to court, or they have a strike. It does 2 things. It's strike against your account because they're insisting it's them. This is, again, they haven't proved anything yet.
Right.
The strike is on your account.
Hey.
And then when the strike is on your account, then they can take you to court.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense because they're just saying, yeah, it's mine, yeah, it's mine, yeah, it's mine. And I don't know who that person is. They understand the legality of it. Obviously they don't, because in America we have that freedom. I have freedom to talk about video games, movies, whatever, and I can show promotional materials that you already put out on the internet and TV.
Yeah.
That's legal. Siskel and Ebert made careers out of it. So that's all we're doing. Just what Siskel and Ebert did. So it's a step in the right direction, but it's nowhere near right.
It's a small step.
Yeah. In related news, if you don't watch Jimquisition, you need to watch Jimquisition.
Yeah.
He did a video, and the video was discussing Nintendo. And in discussing Nintendo, he mentioned, hey, by the way, you saw Nintendo footage in here, but I also threw in some other random footage in here because I'm making the companies fight over who owns this.
Yeah.
And that made huge news. And I mean, like, non-gaming sites and everything were talking about it. So then he did another video talking about it. I don't know if you saw that one.
I haven't seen the second one.
So he was talking about, content ID system is bad, and yeah, I am doing this on purpose because Jimquisition is a free, ad-free show. He gets his money on Patreon. So he gives you a free, ad-free video. Mm-hmm. You can give to him if you want. And what they're doing is they're putting ads on his content, on his content for him. And so he's like, well, I didn't want money anyways. I have nothing to lose in this.
Yeah.
So you all can fight it out. And I think I want to see if he ever screenshots how many he hit this one, because he just threw everything in this video. Yeah. And what he did was he looked and saw what hit copyright on his previous videos, and he just took those clips and put them in there.
Yeah.
So he knew it wasn't going to be a takedown notice. He knew it was going to be a content ID, which is automated.
Yeah.
I love it. We'll be doing that, by the way.
I really appreciate Jim Sterling because he does stuff like this.
Yes.
And he also did a thing a little while ago where he was kind of pushing the boundaries as far as there was a company that made a garbage game, and he said, hey, this is a garbage game.
Yep.
And
it was a garbage game that was made with a tutorial for what is it, for Unity or whatever? Like it's not
free assets. You haven't really done a thing yet.
You got free assets, and you went through the tutorial, and you put the free assets you got somewhere else on that and sold it for 99 cents.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he keeps pressing on stuff like that, and that's one of the reasons I'm willing to just throw money at this guy.
Yes.
Because he is actively doing things to make the internet better.
Yes,
and we really appreciate him.
We do. We love you, Jim. Thank God for Jim. So Sega had an interesting bit of news. They basically opened up mods and hacks through Steam.
Through Steam on their classic games.
Which is amazing. See, now I've got to look up. I have a Steam link now, so now I have to look up how... I've seen a couple ways to work around. You can actually run an emulator off of a Steam link.
Nice.
You can.
Nice.
There's a way you can add games, even if they're emulated, whatever, to be played through, to be launched through Steam. So when you are on Steam Link,
gotcha.
It's accessing Steam. But it's
accessing your own assets.
Yes.
Added to that.
And then it has to have a Steam overlay in order for it to work. So you can. So I'm going to be setting that up so I can play NES games or whatever. But now I'm like, hold on, I didn't know there was Sega stuff on Steam.
I also like they also created this like little miniatures. It looks like a 90s point and click Sega room.
Yeah.
And you can do that, and it's fun. I've really appreciated how Sega has kind of embraced the nostalgia, and it feels like they're actually putting work into it, because there are ways to access nostalgia where it's obviously a money grab.
Mm-hmm.
When you're charging $15 for an N64 game, that is trying to profit off nostalgia. This hub thing is like, hey, if you've got some Sega games, here's a weird looking place to play them, and you can look around and be like, wow, this is a 90s graphics room.
Yeah,
this is kind of fun.
It is cool.
And I'm really proud of them for doing that.
I'd still pay $15 for GoldenEye.
Yeah, Perfect
N64,
Dark.
Perfect Dark, Ocarina.
But still,
I got my Banjo-Kazooie already, so I got that on the Rare Replay.
Yep.
But
did you do the Nintendo Humble Bundle?
I did not.
Not related, but like it's a bunch of 3DS and Wii U games, all for.
Is it still going on?
You can get it for like $8. Yeah.
I mean, there's Darksiders Wii U and a couple others. There's a lot of them that I just wasn't interested in. I already have Darksiders thanks to Steam. Actually, I think it may have been another Humble Bundle.
Nice.
I have a Steam link for that. But I think some of the other ones on there because it should be.
I like the dangerous, affordable space adventures.
Yeah.
That one's cool.
So it looks like we've got 9 hours left on this. So this will not be... It won't be available for you, but you could do it. Go in the past and do it. But honestly, don't feel bad about it because, like I said, the only Wii U ones are Affordable Space Adventures, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, Darksiders 2, Citizens of Earth, Freedom Planet.
So it's a bunch of stuff that it's... Yeah,
it's not like, oh, it's a Humble Bundle and you're getting Tropical
Actual
Breeze
Nintendo,
and you're getting you're not getting Nintendo proper. You're getting
Adventure Island. I like that one. I don't know why.
Island?
Yeah, the little 90s caveman on a skateboard.
Yeah.
Nintendo's weird.
Nintendo is weird.
Speaking of Nintendo, they had their financial thing, and so we've known about the NX for quite some time now.
Yep, without them saying it's happening.
Without them saying, due to various leaks, and that's just been all over the place. So this is the first official word we've had on NX, and they put it in the financial report to the Tokyo stockbrokers, so it came out here at 2 a.m. on a Thursday.
Yep.
And they said, hey, it's real, and it's coming in March of 2017, and Zelda also not coming this year.
Yep. And
it's...
If they don't knock it out of the freaking park with this, it's going to be horrible. Zelda should have come out 2 years ago. It was supposed to come out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It hasn't. I know why they're trying to release it, because they don't want to release Zelda now. I guarantee they would probably be able to polish it off and get it done by fall. Probably could have already been done.
Fall game,
They probably could have already been done, and they were like, we should time this with the NX.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're going to have people who say, oh, well, why am I buying a game that was on the Wii U because I got a new NX? Or you're going to say, why am I buying an NX when I don't have a new Zelda game?
Yeah.
And that's what Wii U didn't get it, and now it's coming as... In the same way that they did Twilight Princess, where it's coming to two consoles.
And Skyward Sword.
And Skyward Sword, yeah. But it's just... Yeah.
It's a weird situation. I'm the only kind of hopeful thing that I've been able to pull out of this is a lot of their studios have been silent for a really long time. And Nintendo has a bunch of in-house studios.
They do.
And if they are delaying it until next year, and they come out with 10 first-party launch titles, 5 of which I'm interested in.
Yeah.
So
my birthday's in April, so I can justify the spending. It does make it easier for you for the holiday, at least. So if you were considering, should I get PlayStation VR?
It makes it easier for you for the holiday, but the only non-handheld system that has launched in spring in the history of video games is the Saturn.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I researched it. I have that kind of time.
So, and there's a reason that consoles come out in December.
People expect to drop...
Santa Claus.
Yeah. Drop Santa Claus?
No, because Santa Claus come...
Yeah. You can't drop Santa Claus.
No. Santa Claus will drop.
Can you physically touch Santa Claus?
I think you could, but I think that he may have some magic where he can dissipate at that point.
See, I feel like that he could touch you if he chose. At the mall he can touch you.
Yeah.
He shouldn't.
Well, I think you would probably be able to touch. You'd probably be able to touch Santa.
See, I've always kind of figured that the Around the World in 24 hours is like a Flash thing, and he just has the ability to in and out. And but other than that, I think he's probably like.
Or it could be his concept of like how he perceives time versus how it may not be necessarily speed. We're talking about like Flash, where he physically is moving that fast.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe it's not that he has to move that fast. The time kind of can slow down for him when he needs it to. I don't know. But then again, we talk about that's going with the whole like, okay, the perceiver is moving at a set rate of speed, but there was
a Lois and Clark episode where Superman was accelerated by aliens in the area, and one of the first things he encounters is he sees a helicopter with slowly moving rotor blades, and he's like, I've got to save. Wait, no, I'm going fast. What's going on here? It was a really, really interesting episode. And
Superman can be interesting.
Can be. Usually isn't. Some of the other news that came out of this is they announced their first phone games that are going to come out, because Miitomo is not a game. It is a social thing that they took from the hashtag Kevin Queries, and I have still not received any money for that.
Yep.
But we're getting Animal Crossing and Fire Emblem phone games, which Animal Crossing, obviously,
that makes perfect sense.
That is where that goes.
Fire Emblem doesn't, but Animal Crossing, yes.
But the turn-based grid strategy thing is perfect for a tablet.
Yeah, it'd be perfect for a tablet, but I feel like phone games need to have the ability to stop whatever you're doing immediately.
Yeah. And then you do a turn, and it saves every turn.
If it saves every turn, so okay.
It has to.
Because like Hearthstone, obviously, if you're playing multiplayer, you've lost the game.
Yeah.
But a game like Fallout Shelter, you just turn the screen off, or you go to some other app, and
your people keep
going. So you'd have to save it every single turn in order to do that, or some type of save state. But I just feel like it's a different kind of gameplay as opposed to mobile. Mobile's usually quick. You have your defense games like Clash of Clans and stuff, but that's more of like set up my things now.
You're setting up a thing, and that's where Animal Crossing fits.
Yeah, I agree.
And Animal Crossing seems like the most ready for microtransactions, and this is where microtransactions go.
It's exactly
in my mind.
They do not go to game. If I buy a $60 game, I do not want microtransactions.
Yeah,
it should not be
microtransactions.
microtransactions.
Animal Crossing, I think, will probably be. Do you think they'll release Animal Crossing free and then go on microtransactions, or how?
Because we don't know this. This is Nintendo.
Yeah,
this is Nintendo.
See, and if they release a Fire Emblem phone game that saves every stage, and I can just play that on my phone, I'll drop $10-15 for that.
But it's Nintendo. I don't know. Well, it depends on how they're going to view that ecosystem.
Yeah.
I think it should be free with microtransactions, because you can get that in the hands of so many people. Yeah. Fallout Shelter is a great example of that. That got in the hands of so many people, and it made a ton of money.
It made a bunch of money and caused them to open a new studio to be like, oh, hey, everybody that wants to give us money.
Yeah. We'll let you give us money. Yeah. So I think that's probably the way they should do it, but it's Nintendo. So I have a feeling that Animal Crossing is going to be $15.
See, I think Fire Emblem will be pay up front. You have this game.
Yes.
Animal Crossing will be their experiment.
Because
in Miitomo you can actually buy credits and coins and stuff, but like it's buried.
Yeah.
Like it's actually hard to find where you pay for the things.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah. Because they're working with DNA, who does microtransactions, I think that Animal Crossing will be done properly. Yeah. And Animal Crossing, because it's cosmetic and you're buying it's nuts, right?
I think
acorns something.
I don't
know. But yeah,
it wasn't I tried it. It wasn't my thing.
But yeah, Animal Crossing, I will predict that it will be $1 or less, probably free.
I can see that.
And it will be microtransactions, and that it will be huge.
Yeah.
Because
if they do it that way,
you make your little village and you decorate your house. I wish I could decorate my room in Miitomo.
Yeah.
Because I have a ninja suit. I don't need more clothes. I have a ninja suit, and I can switch between a cat and a sword. What more could I want?
Nothing. We'll see what they do. The only reason that I was saying that I have a feeling it'll come out like that is because Nintendo has a history of not understanding how sales works. So
yeah,
we'll see.
But I feel like that they did all right with Miitomo, and again, I attribute that to DNA.
Yeah.
They looked for somebody who understood this system
Yeah.
that they are not at all familiar with.
That's true.
So we'll see.
Hopefully they take your advice.
Indeed.
So on to this is kind of the section of release dates and stuff that's coming up.
But before we do that, we're going to talk about Fallout 4.
Well, that's what I meant.
So skip that one.
That's what I meant. Because...
Well, then I'll just sit back and let you do a show.
Because the first thing that's coming out is going to be the mods that we've been talking about coming out for 9 months, 8 months. They are going to come to
They announced the mods
Xbox.
at E3.
Yep.
So
they announced it at
coming up on
E3, and they did not say that it was going to be at a later date.
Right. They
And
said
there's
it was
even an interview there's even an interview where they were saying, yeah, you're going to have mods from the get-go. That didn't happen. So mods for Fallout 4 are coming to Xbox One and PS4.
May and June, respectively.
Oh,
for
May
those
and
two.
June. I thought it was some between those. Okay,
No. It's
May.
coming out in May for Xbox One, June for PS4.
That's hilarious.
Yep.
I find that hilarious because they touted saying it's coming to Xbox first. It's coming to Xbox first by a month. And that's one of the reasons
after the delay.
That's one of the reasons I got it on Xbox. If I had the Steam Link at that time, I would have bought this on PC, though.
Yeah.
But I got it on Xbox because I was going to get mods first, and because of my playstyle where I like in the living room and everything. But a whole month. So I get them a month before you.
Yeah.
Ooh. But we'll talk on the show about
But
how
you did get Fallout 3.
I did get Fallout 3. So yeah, we'll talk on the show when that happens. I'll try them out and tell you what I think about them. Tell you how they compare to the ones on PC.
I'm curious how easy it'll be to just kind of drag and drop, because like we talk about how with a remaster, it's not just file save as Xbox One.
Yeah.
But with the mods, one of the things that they said is that the mod tools, because of the versatility, you're almost getting developer tools. This is not a locked away thing, and so I'm curious how open they're going to be and allowing console gamers to possibly break their game into little bitty pieces.
Because that's what happens on PC.
Yeah. And PC people are kind of used to that.
Yeah.
Console, I don't want to mess with it.
Console people are not used to this, so it'll be really interesting. I think it's cool that it's coming to console, but it's going to be interesting to see what people think about it. Because console gamers complain about everything.
Yeah.
And PC gamers complain and everything, but
then they fix it.
Then they go, this is a problem. Let me adjust my settings on my graphics card. Let me figure this out. And then it's done.
Yeah.
Like consoles, we go, this game's stupid.
It's broken.
Yeah. PC gamers have had some things to complain about recently, but for the most part, PC gamers will go, why is it crashing all the time? Did I do something?
Yeah.
Console, you don't have that option.
It's just supposed to be hey, this works.
Well, it used to be you didn't have an option. I've had Netflix conflicting with my Xbox One recently. I'm like, my game crashed, and then as soon I realized, I was using Netflix, then I went to the game, and then Netflix, I could still see. You can pan over to it. You can see it's still active because it does that. No, it does that. No, because PlayStation goes
for snapping. Yeah.
No. PlayStation goes. Oh, you got to close that, and you got to
suspend it.
Yeah, suspend it. Xbox doesn't tell you what it's doing. You just toggle to something else. So when I went back to the home screen, I saw that Netflix wasn't showing the logo. Netflix was showing the movie that I was watching. So
was it still playing though?
If I hit A and went to it, it would play.
Okay, I thought you were saying that it was just playing a movie in the background, but not actually showing you anything.
The app was still saying, I need to connect to the servers, I need to be at this spot, I'm at this portion of the movie.
Okay.
Ready for when you come back.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
If it doesn't break it.
Yeah, it broke it. So, yeah, and it's a very small quirk. I've only had it happen like once, but that happens. Get over that! So on to more actual release date stuff.
Yes, including one in the past, because DC Online came to Xbox One last Friday.
Yep. Who cares?
And Greg Miller would if he hadn't already gotten the platinum. DCUO is fun for like the character creation.
It's
and then I was done.
I had fun for about 35 or 40 minutes.
Yeah. It's free.
It's free, kind of. It's free to start. And
Well, yeah, but you can play that 30 to 45 minutes, which is the fun part for free.
Well, you can keep playing for free, but you won't have all of the abilities. You won't have all of those powers.
Yeah.
Like, if you want your character to be exactly what you want, you may be behind a paywall.
You're going to pay.
Yeah, you may be behind a paywall, so that happens. But also, we're going to get, King of Fighters 14. Like, there's so many of these, I can't even, like...
Yep.
I had to like double check. So King of Fighters 14 is going to come out August 23rd for PS4, which is cool. The series is still going. I haven't played this game in forever.
No,
it's still going though. Yep. Darkest Dungeon has
Yay! I'm gonna play that.
It's been moved to July or August. Again, it's kind of sucks when they get
But they're still releasing it on PS4 and Vita together, and that's the one that's important because I don't want to deal with another situation where
get it when you get it.
I get it in March of the following year.
Yeah.
And this is not that long of a delay. They had originally said, and I appreciate this. Darkest Dungeon has been really good about communicating. Mm-hmm. Their original was like, okay, this is going to come out in 2016, and then like a month or two later, they're like, okay, we think it's going to come out late spring, early summer, and then they're like, okay, we're needing to push this back to July, August. But every time they update, I have a better idea of when it's coming out because it was a year, then it was a section, and then they moved it back, and then it was a month. And I appreciate it.
I like the communication. I'll agree with that.
And so I'm gonna play that on Vita.
It looks
gonna be
really
fun.
Cool. It looks really cool. We've also got Garden Warfare 2 is going to get a 10-hour trial.
Yeah. On everywhere.
Which is cool because
that is absolutely higher than the amount of time I will play this game.
Oh yeah. I think that so Garden Warfare, like I played Garden Warfare, but like I did not like it in comparison to the regular Plants vs. Zombies.
Yeah.
Plants vs. Zombies. I think it lost its charm in moving to the
also mobile when they did Plants vs. Zombies 2, and it was like every piece is locked behind 90s and it nickels and dimes you the whole time, and I'm like, okay, Plants vs. Zombies 1 is pretty fun, and there's trophies for it on Vita, and like this is cool. Let me give you $5, $10. Give me a price that I can buy this game in its entirety. And like if you have a nickel and dime thing, and then you also have here's all the stuff. If you're going to do that,
I'll pay all the stuff.
Tell me what the price is for this one, and I will.
Or if I like it, instead of saying here's a bunch of paywalls, just say, oh, if you like it, here's a difference. But the other thing that I think we're not discussing when it comes to games like this is kids, because my nephew plays Plants vs. Zombies. He plays Garden Warfare a lot. Garden Warfare doesn't have the microtransactions that I know of, but it can be scary. So I think that sometimes throwing a free game out there to get people to play it will hook them, especially for the younger audiences.
Yeah.
Not that I would condone getting in the hands of a kid who then can buy microtransactions. That's a different story. That's a different story. And you as an adult need to make sure you're not putting your credit card on a device. Yeah, there's reasons you don't do that. So I think I told you about this. He accidentally bought a Lego Avengers game.
Yeah.
Accidentally. No. He saw it. It said buy, and he went, will this let me buy it? Oh, it did. Okay. That's what happened. I mean, I bought it. I know what happened. I'm not saying he was trying to be nefarious. I'm just saying that's what happened. Anyways, so Oxenfree is going to be coming out PS4 May 31st.
Yes.
Very cool. With New Game Plus also coming to Steam and Xbox One.
Right, because it's been on Steam and Xbox One, so at the same time as this launches on PS4 with the New Game Plus mode,
it's going to come out on
that update also comes to the consoles.
I thought it was on Greenlight, so it's not. It was actually
no. It's been released.
Okay, well that's good then.
And Superhot is out now on Xbox One.
Get it.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
It's weird. It's weird, but this is a perfect example of like, oh, that's weird. I should probably throw money at it because it's so unique in comparison to a lot of games. So just double checking the price on this really quick. So I'll have to check out the price. I don't have the price on it at this time, but very weird, but cool. Retro, but not retro.
Yeah.
And very like the time if you are not moving, the enemies aren't moving. Yeah. It's really cool.
I also like the way that because Superhot is a very small team,
yes.
and they've embraced an aesthetic that allows them to put forth their creative vision without being, super difficult and taxing and every stuff.
I agree.
So yeah,
it's good stuff. Also, something that got released in the past is Babymetal. Babymetal on Nintendo. So if you aren't familiar with Babymetal, you're watching Babymetal right now as I'm saying this.
Babymetal is awesome.
Babymetal is a trio of young Japanese girls that sing, and they are the singers for a metal band.
Yes,
and
a good metal
really
band,
good
actually.
metal band. So
yeah, I like them, and I like what's the lady, beardy lady or whatever. The guy. There's a metal guy that has like ponytails and a beard.
Oh,
he does.
Oh, you mean for Babymetal?
No, not for Babymetal. It's a different band. He has like two Japanese sidekicks. But like he is all metal, and half the time he's in metal mode. The other half of the time he's like dressed up the same as they are in dresses and pigtails. That is awesome, and if you enjoy Babymetal, you'd probably enjoy it.
That is cool. So the news on this is that Babymetal, the sprites for Babymetal, you'll be able to play as Babymetal. The trio, not just one.
Mario Maker.
Yes. So that'll be interesting. And it's kind of quirky. I also think it's a really cool acknowledgement from Nintendo to be like, this is a thing now.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just a thing in Japan. Like, this has become a worldwide sensation.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not they'll have any lasting power is a different story, but it's actually really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of crossovers with Nintendo stuff, and we've gotten kind of into the weird news section.
Sure.
Sprung some of it on you.
That's partly weird news. See, that's the segue. That's partly weird news, and it's also
now we're going all into the weird
go.
news. Yokai Watch characters are coming to Final Fantasy XIV, which is not playable on any Nintendo platform, and vice versa. So Final Fantasy XIV, like Chocobos, Moogles, and stuff, are going over to Yokai Watch, and it's some weird crossover stuff. My favorite part, though, is the mixing of art styles.
I completely agree.
Because the Yokai Watch characters in the Final Fantasy XIV universe art aesthetic is really, 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 really cool to see. And then vice versa, to see a Chocobo in because Yokai Watch's art style is very similar to Pokemon's.
Yeah.
And so to see Chocobos and Moogles in that art style is really fun.
It is. And it got people to actually look and see what the heck Yokai Watch is. So I think that's cool.
Yeah. And then the last bit of weird news is that one of the Fox News guys, he was doing it was a fairly serious news piece on kind of things that 18-year-olds should know how to do, like
change a tire, file their taxes.
Yeah, like basic. And I was really glad because for way too long, every time that list was brought up, they would include balance your checkbook.
Yep.
And nobody's balanced a checkbook.
Yes.
In a very long time.
I have online banking.
Yeah. I have these numbers.
It balances it for me. It's right. It doesn't screw up the math because it's really easy math.
Yeah.
And you won't go, this it doesn't look right because there's got to be a payment missing it's like, no, it's right there. You can look and see everything that's on there. And then if it's fraud, it's fraud. But yeah. Why would anyone buy? Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, no checkbooks.
Yep.
But the Fox News was going through this list of things, and then the last thing he said is that they need to be able to deal with the Destiny updates and deal with the cheaters that are shooting him in the Division and stuff. And he got really mad at it, and it was really fun to watch because he's being businesslike and he's talking about these things that 18-year-olds need to know how to do, and then dealing with those jerks in the dark zone that are shooting me. And
it's really fun to watch everybody else in the room go,
What?
So, yeah, I encourage you to watch this thing that you're probably watching.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So that's the news and things and discussions that we have for this week.
It is.
In our collective heads.
And even more.
And more.
And more. We'll see you guys later.